Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in this universe. I am so happy that you're here today. I hope you had a great weekend because I know I sure did. If there's anything that you've been manifesting or maybe working on, I'd love to hear some stuff about you. But this video, if you came upon this or even made the choice to even proceed to go into it, is that I believe that nothing in this world, in this reality, ever happens on accident. I don't even believe in coincidences because the way that our reality is coming in this time and age is that information is moving so quickly and so many people are waking up to this higher vibrational frequency, this power that a lot of us have literally lost and gave it away all our life. And I'm starting to notice all around my world that people are starting to take back this power. And if you found this video, literally you're entering into this new world in this God creator mode, that what you desire in this reality, whether it's just becoming a better version of yourself, learning to love one another and be a better person to your loved ones, or even just being more spiritual in the sense of understanding the you and connecting to the source, the infinite and the intelligence. But then not also do we have those powers to just exist and to live amongst this reality, knowing that we have this power. But now we have the power, because we are connected again, to start creating in this universe, to start creating in this world through our own mind and through us. There is no separation in reality. When we talk about that creation is finished, it means that everything that has ever existed or even thought of has already been done in this reality. What we are doing when we are in our God mode, creator mode, we are shifting into the existence, into the state of the place where we want to be in existence. Meaning, if we're thinking of abundance or we're thinking of love, then we are attracting more of that into our life, because this is our power, is our own mind and our internal being. And when we finally get this power back and realize that everything in our reality is an illusion, nothing actually even exists. We know this through the quantum world, that it needs an observer. But if we really think about it, we talk about this observer, that reality decides to change because it is aware of it being observed, so it behaves differently. But if it needs an observer, who is observing the observer, right? So no one really talks about the other side of the observer, but we are also be observed as well through this awareness. And if it's an awareness that knows what we are trying to create, it's kind of like they've done a test where they put a little box with a little button on it, right? Like a stop. And they had a left and a right. And they would ask the person to touch the left or the right. And then they also had wires on their brain to see which one would react first. But before the person could even get its hand to the button that it wanted to choose, the brain already decided before the person even acted or make the movement. In fact, it already knew exactly the future of it, of your decisions and your choices. So what is happening is that this is a program. This is your subconscious that has literally taken over your reality. And what we are doing when we decide to take our power back is to take this subconscious back that's creating and making the decisions for us, and deciding to change that program so that it can make the right things in our reality, right? So it's simply shifting our awareness of the thoughts that are coming in all throughout our day, because a lot of these thoughts technically aren't even yours in most cases, because we are all tapping into the collective consciousness, the collective of ideas. Have you ever had an idea, and I swear this has happened to many people and even me, that you thought of something, that genius idea that can change the world, or a concept that could happen, or even, you were the first one to thought of Uber before it existed, right? And all of a sudden that idea popped up somewhere and someone became very wealthy off of it. Or they took an idea and changed the world with it, and it didn't even matter about the money part of it. It's the fact that you tapped into this collective consciousness where this idea already exists, or where this idea already existed. So if this idea already existed and you tapped into a collective, or you tapped into a state of awareness where this reality exists, that could have been yours, right? If we had more awareness to our thoughts. But someone else in this collective that was already ready to receive this manifestation, to receive this download, decided to take action on this and believe that it was some kind of sign, or believe that it was part of their calling because they heard it and decided to take action on it. And anybody could have taken that idea if it came to you, because we get ideas all the time, but a lot of the times I'm telling you that our mind is not really our thoughts. We think it's us, but it's really the program within it, the subconscious that is really collecting all of ideas, thoughts, and so forth. So literally, anytime something comes in, when we are in alignment with our purpose in life, we're going to get these downloads from our collective consciousness of ideas, of things to do. There are times when I get it and I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that one. He'll throw me another idea and I'm like, maybe. So yeah, I mean, everybody has their limitations, but it's always like, don't ask the how, or how it's going to happen, why it's going to happen. But when you get these callings or these ideas, it's really up to you to just take action, and everything else will follow, right? It's just having that trust and faith, which you probably already do if you landed on this video. I know sometimes that life can be challenging and a lot of things can be in front of us, and obstacles and roadblocks, but we have to realize that a lot of these things are just stepping stones to show reality that we can handle this new one. It's like, here you go, can you overcome this? And then you learn, oh, I guess they learned that lesson, so I guess they can handle this new reality. But if none of that really exists, it's only because we are creating that, and it's all being created through us, through our internal being. So when we think of the outer world, our 3D, our physical reality, everything is just a mirror of the things we are thinking predominantly throughout our entire day. And how do we stop these random thoughts that we tend to get a lot? Because they say we get thousands and thousands of thoughts. Simply close your eyes and listen. Sometimes it's best to even do it right when you first wake up, to just close your eyes, get into a meditative state, and just listen. And take a deep breath. A lot of the times, this thing will start rambling, and it's not about being attached to any physical words that are coming through. It's like letting it come in and letting it go. It's creating that inner peace within you, that we are not attached to any physical thoughts. And when we can control the thoughts that are coming in and just letting them go, hearing them and letting them go, we start getting our power back even more, because we can handle not just our thoughts, but able to handle our emotions, because these are all part of our vibratory state, our vibration. So when we are handling our thoughts and our emotions and our internal being, this creates our energetic field that attracts things to us. And whether you believe it or not, you can believe what you want to believe, because with what I tell people with Neville and the law of assumption is whatever you believe to be true is. So simply assuming your reality and living in that assumption as you are this God consciousness, this God creator, that everything in this reality is divine, and your purpose here is to create love and create all abundance around you, that you should have abundance in all areas of life, because it is possible. So when we know that we are connected to the one, to the infinite intelligence, and we know that our mind and our inner world is the reflection of our outer world, then this is how we learn to become the best version of us, is to seek within. As within, so without. As without, so within. As above, so below, right? It's all about our awareness and the state we are choosing. It's just like when I talk about how these ideas just come to you, right? So whatever you are wanting in your life, it's simply a state of being, a state of consciousness. And whatever state of consciousness you are choosing you are literally choosing a new timeline of your existence. So this identity of yours has to die. And that's what death is that the old self dies and the new one begins. But if we really look down deep into philosophy or Alan Watts, that death really is non-existent. When was the last time you remember dying? You don't. You only remember existing. So if we only remember existing, then this game of life, this wheel of fortune, this destiny, this fate, this thing that life cycle that keeps going in completion, right? It circles. It doesn't end. You learn your lesson, you come back. You learn your lesson, you come back. You learn your lessons, you come back. Some of the ancient civilizations talked about the divine matrix a long time ago, before even we had the film The Matrix. Like there's a grid around this entire thing. If you people in South America who have taken ayahuasca have seen this field of energy that's around our earth. And basically it is our purpose, our life, to come back to experience over and over, to experience itself in different forms. And we're all experiencing itself over and over and over and over. So if you know someone, or even your old self, we have to learn to let go of the self and our identity, because so many people are so attached. This is my identity, and nothing is going to change that. I have these beliefs and I'm so proud of it. And it's like, what is that going to do for you in the future? What are you doing to change the world? I had a friend, but I don't talk to him very much, maybe like once a year. The guy is literally worth $500 million. And every time we'd talk, he'd always say, hey, come move here, come here. You'll love it here. Don't worry, I'll get you a Lamborghini. I'll get you this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can do it myself. And I was talking to him, I'm like, what are you doing with all this money that you're making? He's like, oh, I want to build all these houses. I'm like, no, what do you want to be remembered in this reality? You're going to build all this stuff that's just going to build more and more pollution. Yeah, we want to have money, but he's at a point where that doesn't even matter. So we get in these arguments. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be remembered as someone who did something good for humanity, or did something right, or changed something? Like, what is the purpose of having all that money if you're not doing anything good for it besides your own greed which gets nowhere. Yeah, your own happiness, but how long does that last? And when you die, you don't even matter anymore or exist anymore. You didn't do anything but just created more junk in this planet that we have too much of already. But anyways, we can make a difference in this world. People always say that it's impossible, but one person, every person that changes their consciousness and change the way they perceive their reality by their thoughts and what they are internally, will reflect back out, and other forces of energy, other consciousness, awareness beings will pick up on that energy and they'll pass on that. And eventually our whole energy field of the earth ends up waking up. And that's like the whole awakening of consciousness, right? I really don't go too far deep into this because more my thing I always talk about is how to manifest your reality. But when we understand that every part of reality can exist when you have power of you, knowing that you are this creation, that you are connected to this infinite intelligence, that everything was meant for you, everything is designed for you to have an experience, and every experience that has ever existed from every type, from, like living under a tree, this, or you have all these type of experiences, good, bad, hard, difficult, easy mode, difficult mode, right? So we are here to understand and figure out ourselves and find who we are and what is our purpose, and follow that passion and follow that dream, because what does it even matter anymore if you just never followed it and decided to do something because you had to, or because, I have to be realistic. I can't just think like you, Johnny, all the time and keep my heads in the clouds, because if I do that, how am I ever going to pay my bills? And this person ended up losing his entire business because he didn't want to shift his consciousness into someone that believed that it can turn around in an instant as soon as he decided to change the way he thinks about the reality he is in. Because he's in the reality he's in because of the choices he is making. And because if someone is stubborn and not wanting to make those choices on their own, what can you do, right? Everyone has to find their own path. You can show people, but it's really up to them to follow or not. I get a comment saying, why not take him along? Sometimes the path, it can be like the Hermit card in tarot, is that you are this wizard, but sometimes you have to take the path alone to find introspection, to find that inner being within you, finding that soul within you, understanding what life purpose is. And then once you come out of that shell, you can able to express that out into your reality. But a lot of times people cannot go down this path. Sometimes they have to figure it on their own. And maybe it can take, things can happen now, but sometimes it can take many, many, many lifetimes to learn these things. But why not learn these things now so you can live in a higher frequency state and live in your next life is in a higher frequency and a higher frequency and a higher frequency? Because I don't believe in death. That would be so boring. Why would you just disappear and then that's it? What is the purpose? Because when I see someone else, I'm seeing a reflection of myself and they're seeing a reflection of themselves. It's like a remembrance. Like I'll run into somebody and then I'm like, I swear I know you from somewhere. But it's just remembering who I am through another person's eyes. It's crazy. I don't have too many of these experiences, but it did happen a few times. But once you feel connected, you will start noticing these energies and these frequencies. It's like a radio. All we're doing is simply turning the knob and tap in and tuning in to the frequency of the reality we want. And when we tune that frequency and all of us are vibrating at that same type of state, we can all change the planet, literally. But you are this God creator. You are here to fulfill your destiny, your fate, everything you've ever desired and living in that end wish fulfilled is going to happen. Stay consistent, persisting, and do not waver, because your reality is going to show. And I 100% just stick to it until your reality conforms. I appreciate you so much, and I hope to see you on the next.